right. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We're here live with the beautiful and talented and gorgeous Miss Lali Divine. And I'm so happy to have her here with us in Lunar Lady. She's going to tell us all about the wonderful world of Reiki. And I'm going to share with you why, like starting your Reiki practice, getting attuned, getting your empowerments so that you can practice Reiki, why it's so important, and so the timing is so perfect. So I would love to introduce to you Miss Lali. Thank you so much, Lali, for being here. And feel free to introduce yourself because you know more. I'm still getting to know everything about you. So I would love to hear more from you because you have there's so many things I could say just right now, from your artwork to your power, to your healing, to your mudras, to your yoga. Like, oh my God. So I want to hand it over to
you. Okay. Well, thank you, Shannon. That's such an amazing welcome to your amazing world, which I have been so blessed to be a part of now. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So just a little about me. I'm going to stick to the Reiki because there's so much about me that we're just going to focus on that. So my yogic path led me to Reiki, and my dance path combined with my yogic path, and then Reiki was like, oh, okay, I'm going to show up for you now. I'm ready to be here in your world. So I said yes to Reiki at that time, and that was in 2011. So I've been practicing Reiki since then, and I was on my personal mastery trail, which we are still on a mastery trail, even when we're attuned to master Reiki. we're always working towards that. So, but my practice, my actual learning and understanding, I was inundated for over 2 years of just making sure that I was practicing, just reoccurringly going back to my practice before I even considered moving forward, because it's an empowerment tool. So that's a little about just a tad about my journey that I feel necessary to share at this moment.
Right.
Because there's so much more. And I will just say to you, for those who don't know Reiki is always with us. So Reiki is this universal life force that lives in everything. It lives in the trees. It lives in the ocean. It lives in the grass. It lives in your hair. It lives in your bed frame, believe it or not, and your plastic cup that you're drinking out of. It's Reiki. What? No way. Yeah. So because everything that we have and everything that we're connected to are from the universe. They're from the elements. So everything comes from the power of the earth, and the earth carries that energy. And so that life force has come to us in the form of Reiki. And Reiki is an ancient Tibetan Japanese healing system that a wonderful man named Yusui Sensei, which we all love this man.
Yes, we love this man.
Oh, he is amazing. So Reiki could be predated like thousands of years ago, right? Because as we know, even Jesus, when he laid his hands on people, he healed them. So that energy comes through in many different forms, in many different lineages, in many different cultures. But Yusui was focusing on Zazen meditation, and a form of meditation that brought us into an alignment with peace within ourselves. So that no matter what's coming at us, Mercury retrograde or like chaos, whatever it is flying at us, we still can come to this place of balance and centered in our being. And so when he went onto this mountain, he went in and he did this amazing meditation for 21 days on this mountain. He was struck by a bolt of energy on the 21st day that knocked him unconscious. And he was not there to look for Reiki. He was only there to look for this place of like peace. And I'm looking for this place of solid peace. And as he was going down the hill, when this struck him. Whoa, he like realized, oh wow, I don't feel hungry. I've been here for 21 days. How do I not feel hungry? How do I not feel that? It was amazing to him. So he comes and he's walking down the mountain and he stubs his toe and it hurts, of course, on a rock, and he's bleeding, and he puts his hand there, just like we do if we hurt ourselves. We put our hand there. A child comes to us and they're like, oh, I have a boo-boo. So we put our hand there. So he puts his hand there and it felt better, like miraculously, like instantly stopped bleeding. He was able to get up and walk down the mountain. And at that moment, he realized he received a bigger gift than just this meditation of finding.
Wow.
So
Love the telling of the story.
So he profoundly had this transmission from the universe for this gift that he turned into a system for us to access. So it's broken up by symbols that we are taught. So we're taught all about the Reiki energy, and then we're taught how we're connected to that energy and how it's always around us, accessible to us. And then through these systems, we get to hone into certain elements within the system of these symbols.
So the symbols are a part of if someone wants to be trained to receive Reiki.
Exactly. He set up, he and Hayashi, one of his students, set up a system where, we're able to access these different realms within ourselves first, and connecting to the universe first. So we become our own empowered healer through the system. And so a master teacher is nothing more than just a teacher that has a gift from Usui that can pass it to you. So essentially on your road to mastery, you're just learning that you can teach others this as well. But first, Reiki 1, which we'll be focusing on in April, and what some of the ladies have just been learning, is that we focus on ourselves first. We get self-empowerment because we find our own source connection. We realize that everything that we're seeking outside of us, we actually can connect to this plug with source, and that's all that we need. With a couple of guiding tools, which is why I love Shannon so much, because because our charts are so real, that's such an integral part of our life, that it directs us in the flow that we need to go. With this tool, oh man, it's like amping up the energy. You just plugged into the plug in the wall and you're like, whoa.
Right? Who doesn't want to feel that?
So with this healing tool, I couldn't stress enough that it's an empowerment tool. So we're taking the power back instead of needing to go outside of ourselves and get healed for this or get healed for this or get healed for this. We're actually turning it back into ourselves, connecting to source, saying, oh, thank you. I can do this by myself because you're teaching me how. That's so amazing.
Exactly. Who knew it was that easy?
Right. And so the system that I've set up too is distance training. You hear many different things about Reiki. For anyone on here, they hear many different ways, like you can't do this or you can't do this. Actually, one of the greatest teachers, Miss Takata, is the reason why the evolution of Reiki had even came to us. It would have died and disappeared had she not actually started practicing and bringing it back. So she found a new way to do Reiki with new symbols and new attunements. And what they now are recognizing, William Rand and the International Organization of Reiki, is that there are no bounds.
Yeah.
There are no bounds. Distance Reiki is for distance. So distance attunements are also encompassing and part of that. So I received a message from Creator saying, it's time, because here's how you're going to do it. And here's how you're going to share it with the world remotely so that we can access more people and more women to empower themselves and therefore to create a ripple to empower the world.
Yes, amen to that. Because what will women do when they get empowered? The first thing that we all are going to do is want to go take care of somebody. whether it's a child, a husband, a partner, a friend, a business, whatever. That's our design. That's our like impulse to be, is to nurture.
Yes.
Isn't that exciting? That's why His Holiness said that he had mentioned that the Western woman will change the world or will save the world. Only, and I feel like he was alluding to that it's the Western woman has the most access to education, economic freedom, and reproductive freedom, where a lot of women who are in more third world countries have less access or empowerment to that, and so they're unable to do as much. But when Western women who have that as their ability to connect to, then their reach is so far and so vast that it then spreads around the world like the ocean.
Yeah. Yes!
Isn't that fun? And we get to be Western women doing this.
Oh, yes.
We're all our sisters around the world, and all the children, and all the men, and all the animals, and all the plants. Yes.
Yes. Yes. And that is, I think, is so important for us as a culture with the women. And now that we're rising, is that we no longer have to look at ourselves like we're injured beings. We're actually empowered beings. And instead of putting the attention on doing this injury work, is doing the intention of putting intention on being the empowered woman, like being that, working through that healing system within yourself first, healing all of those parts of you and welcoming the empowerment. Like, we no longer need to speak to ourselves in negative language anymore.
Right? And I think too, can you tell us about, I think that your way of, the many ways that from your lineage and how you process it and then pass it on, I would love to hear it, like, because I feel like you have a very beautiful connection to it just from your soul purpose energy, right? And who you are in this lifetime, as well as I want to understand more. I feel like the way that you're doing it remotely and through online, like that, I think is so powerful, because then it helps us cross over into that place of trusting that this is real and it works and it can work anywhere.
Yes, absolutely. Because distance Reiki is a part of our healing system. We learn different symbols, and distance Reiki is a part of that. And for so long, I think we were in this box with that idea. Like, we can build this grid and we can treat this person from a distance. But however, what I learned in my meditation, what Spirit has asked me to do, is open up to the web. Because there is no time and space. There is no, if we can heal like with no phones and nothing, like, just think about that. Like, when you say a prayer, it travels across time and space, and that person received that prayer.
Yeah, instantly.
And we could be thinking about someone, and so many times this has happened to me, and they show up at my doorstep. Okay, so technology is actually an amazing tool for us to use for these healing practices. And what I've done is set up a system where we get on Zoom 4 times a month for 1 hour in the classroom, and we learn each Reiki, each part of the Reiki manual that I've set up. Just like that. And it is a lot of information, bam, compacted in this time. And then we do individual attunements. Like, the past 2 days, I've been attuning these women, and it's been so powerful.
Yes, I've been seeing them posting online, like, their experiences of just like, wow, amazing, and just feeling like they're in like this nectar of the gods.
Yeah, and I would say, like, my lineage that I came from, I have an interesting story, because my story is like Diane Stein. Diane Stein's story is very, I don't know if you know who Diane Stein is. I encourage you all to look her up.
I know that name. Tell us who she is. I feel like I've come across her name like a couple years ago.
Diane Stein she's now living in Florida. That's where she lives now. I actually wrote her a message and talked to her. But she's from the early 70s. She was doing doing Reiki trainings, right? And she felt so called, and she had went to study with a few teachers, but never had a power struggle with a couple of her teachers, where, you know, we live in that old paradigm where she couldn't get, no matter what she did, she couldn't get paperwork from her teachers. It's in her book. It's written in her book.
Uh-huh.
And so one of her students gave her the paperwork.
Wow, of course, right?
One of her students had already studied Reiki, went through the training, and came to her and said, I know that I've already studied this, but I want to study with you. So the student ended up giving her the paperwork. That was just like, wow, this is the most amazing.
That's Reiki right there. Just
right. So
helps everything move.
Exactly. So no matter what your lineage is and where you come from, ultimately we're all coming from Yasumi Sensi and Creator Source. So I just want to bring that back to this is an empowered tool, not a guru lineage. We are not here to treat this like a guru lineage any longer. It is breaking out of its bounds so that each person can have access to it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And so what is the journey like, say, if someone wants to start with Reiki 1 and what's like the full journey if they want to go and be like a lineage carrier, a teacher, or someone that then passes it on? What's that like?
Yeah, okay, so for the lineage I'm working and setting up and what's going right now is that Reiki 1 is 4 classes, and then you get your attunement and your certification for Reiki 1.
Nice.
And then if you want to continue on, then we do Reiki 2, and Reiki 2 is broken up in 2 months. It's a very intense, in-depth study, and it takes time, so we break it up with 8 classrooms, 8 hours. Mm-hmm. And so if you went to an in-person classroom, that's exactly the same amount of hours that you would have. And then you would go and you would practice. Mm-hmm. So what we're going to do is for the Reiki 2, the 8 classrooms, and then we're going to practice, and we're going to keep in touch. We're going to come back to the classroom. We're going to do Q&As and come back in our circles. And then we're going to go to Master Attunement.
Hey!
This is my favorite part. So the journey looks at about 8 months long.
So, oh, wow. That's awesome. That's pretty fast for someone who is really feeling the call and wants to make this part of their life in that way, and their livelihood as well.
Exactly. I feel like that for me, to give the information, because you're going to be on this journey no matter what. You know, you're going to be on this journey for a long time. You're not going to be a master after 8 months, but you're going to.
It's lifelong.
Yeah. When you think you know, you don't know.
Right? That's exactly when you don't know. Yeah. So you say, thank you for that, because now I know I don't know.
I'm so open. Yes, thank you. I'm learning. I can feel this new thing coming in. And so at the 8-month level, when you're going to get attuned to your Master Reiki, we're going to do a retreat. So you'll come for the retreat, and the retreat is going to be in Hawaii this year.
What? That is so cool, ladies. You're going to go to Hawaii and do your master level training? What? That's so awesome.
So it'll be 4 days in Hawaii, and we're going to get out with nature, and we're going to sleep under the stars one night.
Oh my God, ladies, if you don't know already, if you've been called to Hawaii, you need to go when Lali is there and go with her, because you'd be really going with a mermaid. So I'm just saying. Know your company, right? Like, this is really cool.
Well, and then we're going to be inundated with the mana of the land there.
Oh my God.
If you've never been to Hawaii, when you put foot on the land, that is Reiki. That mana energy is breathing and living in every living part of Hawaii. The rocks, the grass, the lava flow, the ocean, the water. Each wave that comes in has a different energy. Each breeze that comes through the trees, each leaf that comes off the tree, like every single.
Yeah.
So illuminating your own path and your own initiation with spirit there. I just can't wait to see what happens. The magic that's going to come together, and this group of women it's going to be so powerful. Yeah.
Right. So that's the whole other aspect. So when you learn it for yourself, so then you get your self-empowerment and you feel really good. And then you extend it out to all of the circle of women coming in who are all individually having their experience. And then you bring them together in a group, which is, I would imagine, amazingly powerful.
And that is something that during the journey, because we have our own Facebook page, so that the Inside Reiki group page, you know, a lot of women are on there discussing and sharing their journey and what they've been through and what their experiences are. And really, like, the idea is that we become this family. Each group of Reiki practitioners become a family. We become like a group, a tribe of women that we get to lean into. And at our closing circles, they've been really powerful because we see ourselves together. We see ourselves in circle together, and that you can feel that. You feel that connection to that woman. And so really it's all about finding a tribe, and you're here with these women. And then we get to filter in with all the women before the lineage that are learning. So we grow and we expand and we become this massive group of empowered Reiki goddess tribe.
Right? We totally want empowered Reiki goddess tribe out there. Yes, sign me up. Yes. I want to join the Reiki goddess tribe.
Yes, Shannon, yes. Well, I'm going to continue on in Hawaii for those that don't know. I'm going to be studying Karuna Reiki.
Tell us about that, because that's what I want to study with you. Because I have my Reiki 1, 2, and the master teacher, but you know, of course, I'm in the practice of it. But I have been being feel called to, like, okay, what's the next step of my journey? And I feel like it's that. So
yeah, you know, it's hard to really speak on behalf of what it is until you're in it.
Okay.
Like, we get technical explanations for everything, but until
right.
But I will say, what my goal, what my hope, and what my prayer is for Karuna Reiki is that it will take me to this ultimate place of peace and enlightenment. And through that place of peace and enlightenment, I can be an example for other people and teach them and share with them how I came to this place.
I like that.
Yeah.
I love that for you too. Because I have a feeling you're going to open up that doorway, that portal to your ancestors. Which,
yeah.
And do you mind telling us where your ancestors are coming from? What land?
Yes. I have been, I mean, honestly, I've been on this journey trying to discover my ancestors for a number of years. And just until the past 6 months, they finally showed up. Their whole story showed up. So my actual ancestors came over to the U.S., and we're talking about just my, like, great-great-great-grandma from Turkey.
Wow.
And the ancestors that lived in Turkey migrated from Africa and Egypt.
Whoa. Can't you see that in Lali, everyone? I swear I could so see that.
It's just, for me, I definitely have been connecting with these elements of them for a long time. The Eye of Horus, Isis, like all of these deities and Devis, and even Kemetic yoga, which I want to study, which if you look at any of the Egyptian poses, they're all in a yogic posture. And so that's a new teaching that's coming into our world, and it's so beautiful, and I get to tap into my ancestors.
Right, because it's all living within you, like in every level of your DNA, like it's in your bones. I feel like when you go to Egypt, you're going to be traveling through and you know, these really sacred lands, and you're going to go into this temple, and you're going to go in, and there's going to be a painting on the wall, and she's going to look like you. I feel like you're going to go like, oh my God, that is me on the wall.
Well, my big goal is to sit inside of one of the pyramids because I love theta, and I do add a little theta into some of the techniques in Reiki too.
Wow, that's a treat.
And Ho'oponopono meditation we're doing this week. This is our 4th class, and so we're adding in Ho'oponopono. So I'm going to teach Ho'oponopono. Well, just I will not say that I'm a teacher of Ho'oponopono. That's a Hawaiian tradition.
Yes.
But I'm going to honor the ways of Ho'oponopono, and we're going to look at how Ho'oponopono can benefit our Reiki practice and our life, because they're in alignment with the Reiki principles, which is that just for today, I won't be angry, right? Just for today, I will share love and kindness with everyone around me. These.
So tell us a little bit about, those are the principles, the guiding principles of Reiki. Like, so for someone brand new, just, oh my gosh, I don't even know what Reiki is, but I feel called to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us about that?
I can. So if you feel called to learn Reiki, you should learn Reiki. Like, literally.
Yeah, as fast as you can.
Now is the time. Absolutely. So what Reiki is going to do is it's going to connect you with source energy on a higher hertz frequency.
Seriously.
Seriously. Literally.
Totally. So you want to raise your vibration? Oh, hook into source through Reiki. Yes.
Exactly. And so our Reiki principles are really important. The 2 that I like to focus on the most, though, is just for today, I will show love and kindness to everything and everyone around me. Pretty much that's it. Like, if you're doing that,
you are on easy street.
Thank you for the carpet on my floor. Thank you for the yoga mat that I was able to love and give joy to and put energy in, because then you understand that even standing on your yoga mat, your energy is connecting to that yoga mat. And so every time you're sitting on that yoga mat, you're connecting to your inner self.
That is so beautiful. I mean, they're right. All these wonderful ways of being are right in front of us. But if we just need that person to open up our mind to see how to be.
And then the most beautiful thing about Reiki to me is we don't understand always how to connect to source. We don't understand how to go into these other, esoteric realms sometimes. We can't quite, our channels aren't awakened, and our chakras are not balanced. Our nadi, all these channels in our body are not balanced. They're blocked. And so what Reiki does is it comes in and it works like a vibrating agitator. And it's putting everything back into alchemical balance, energetic. So there's a system, and you follow the system, and tried and true, you get more of this energy flow. You start amping up your own energy flow and your connection. So it increases that so you can start feeling it. You can open up your third eye. You open up your crown chakra. And you're like, oh, that's what that's like. Oh my gosh. And so the further we travel into the realm of Reiki, well, just imagine.
Yeah, that's where you start, where Reiki is going in and really agitating and clearing your nadis, your meridians, your chakras, all your energy body channels, and clearing and cleansing and opening. Then you take a next step and you're stepping in over like that. Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's really interesting for everyone watching that in May, well, there's a couple reasons around the timing, but I really feel like those who were, check your astrology charts, those of you who were born when the planet Uranus was in Scorpio, you are about to enter into what they call your Uranus opposition, and connecting with Lali and starting to do Reiki you will never look back, because what is about to happen to you is you're going to have a Kundalini rising event over the next 7 years. And so you want to be prepared for that, because what's going to happen, the mainstream or Muggle world calls it a midlife crisis. But that is not what is happening at all. This is your moment to open your chakras and have your crown chakra open. It's a time for enlightenment, but they don't teach us that anymore. So go get your chart. And if you're born with Uranus in the sign of Scorpio, Uranus is going to move into Taurus. It's opposite sign. And for the next 7 years, you are going to be having your channels opened. Now, make it easy for your Uranus by opening the channels first, clearing your nadis, clearing your meridians, opening up your chakras. So the Kundalini energy, maybe Lali can speak to that too, but it's a Hindu word for the coiled snake. And it's a sleeping snake at the base of your spine. It's for women, it's your Shakti, right? So Uranus is about electricity, zzz, like Lali was saying, like that high frequency. It goes over the top of you and starts going zzz, and wakes up the sleeping snake. The snake goes, ooh, it's time to wake up, and starts moving up your spine. And this energy is about boom, 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 opening your chakras so you become a rainbow light body of enlightenment. But what happens if the sleeping snake goes, oh, I'm starting to wake up, and boom, hits the root chakra, you're going to feel that. Whether you feel it in your body or you feel it in like this feeling of, am I safe? It's about survival. Mm-hmm. So you want to feel connected and know that you are one with source creation and energy flowing through you. Root chakra is fine, balanced, open. Then it goes into second chakra. Is it going to be blocked there? Is it going to go like, And that energy is lightning. You don't want to keep lightning in a bottle. You want lightning out. Because it will start showing up in your world. I'm not saying that to scare you or as a warning, but I really feel like the time is now to take this opportunity that is presenting itself to you, not only from your own journey on your path, but we have another layer because the moon is, we're in a Pisces lunar cycle. And so everything Lali's been sharing with you about the nature of Reiki, compassion, just for today, let me not worry, let me share kindness to all. Let me just be this beautiful connection to source energy. That is the Pisces language. That is fifth dimensional living. That is oneness. That is love. That is joy. That is happiness all throughout the world. Web of life. So Lali showing up in your life today saying, come on over and open up to the web of life. Choose, say yes to the fifth dimension. Say yes to opening and empowering yourself. And as you do, you're going to meet other women who are saying yes. And then you're going to be part of a bigger group. And then you're going to get really connected to Lali too, and you're going to love that experience. And then you're going to find yourself in Hawaii with a retreat, all in alignment with the planets and stars. That's why I'm like, Lali, let's do the live. The time is now. Because one more layer to this, with the new moon, Chiron, wounded healer. Wounded healer is here saying, let us heal the wounds of the soul. And as you heal yourself, you heal the world. And so now Chiron says, let me introduce to you my favorite Reiki teacher on the planet. Come and hang out with her. Enjoy yourself. And then start learning about your soul purpose. All of our soul purpose at the base level is to bring love and light onto the planet. It's a lot easier doing it when you're connected to source. Mm-hmm. So with that, Lali.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So I do definitely have to add a piece of this Kundalini energy, just because I've been on the yogic path for so long. Yeah. And I do believe that's what this information comes with Reiki for me in particular to share. The Kundalini energy, it can be abrupt.
Yes.
And that isn't always a good feeling. You know, I've heard many stories of people opening up abruptly with their Kundalini. Okay? And many textbooks will teach you this, and I encourage you to, to look into that with certain discernment, maybe with the teacher's help. There's many different stories out there, but the Kundalini, when it abruptly opens, we can have visions, or we might be a little shocked because all of these esoteric things that we've heard about hit us at one time. So our mind gets confused, right? And then we don't always have the discernment to pull them apart. So that's what Reiki helps. It's a deep prayer. So it helps us to find discernment. It helps us to balance these areas of our body that are imbalanced physically, spiritually, through all of our channels. So when as that Kundalini is rising through each chakra, it's not going to just bolt up to the crown. It's actually going to just softly enter each space. And so through Reiki, you're going to learn what that feels like. It's going to bring awareness to those chakras so you can feel that. So it's essentially a pre-tuning for what you're going to experience, so that you're not like, whoa, oh my God, I think I've lost my mind. Like literally, oh my God.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, women get hot flashes, and, men too. It happens to both of us. And a lot of times, if you don't know what's going on, you're at the doctor's office and they can't find anything wrong, and you think you're losing your mind. And it's like, you're not losing your mind. Your chakras are opening up. And so you need a new language to help yourself. Lali, Juliana said that her Kundalini was abrupt, and she had a question of what's esoteric? Like, what does that mean?
Okay. So esoteric is just a normal word we put in our world. It's like a definable word in our dictionary of like all these intangible spiritual experiences.
Yeah.
So that's really like a big, broad version of what esoteric is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I love that with your guiding and leading and teaching and offering the Reiki to the women who wants to sign up. So you're also bringing the knowledge of your yogic practice.
Yes.
Which I think for women who are you're probably, if your Mercury or your Uranus is in Scorpio, probably like between 38 and 42 is the time. So if you don't know your chart and you're like, oh wait, I just turned 40, I go contact me, get your chart done, and we'll look at your Scorpio, your Uranus and Scorpio, because I feel like you are first in line to sign up for Lali's journey.
And I do want to say that for women that do get their soul reading with Shannon, oh my gosh, their soul charts are going to change their life, first of all. And it's just going to affirm a lot of things for you. But also, I'll give you a discount. You're going to get a discount for the Reiki training.
Wow, you're going to give a discount to the ladies who've already had their Soul Purpose series done, and then anyone who's interested.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you. That's so generous. What a kind Reiki thing to do.
Well, and the idea is that when you have these two tools together, it's easier to navigate your life. So when these Kundalini openings happen to you, you know exactly when, how, how you're going to navigate it, what tool you're going to use with it. So you're not, and take it from me, even though you don't know me. Those tools are so powerful. They become a complete support system for you.
Right. I loved how you put the Soul Purpose experience together with learning Reiki and opening up to that pathway, because you're right. Like when you know who you are and why you're here, and then you bring in this amazing self-empowerment healing tool that then clears out whatever needs to be cleared out in order for you to embrace and embody your whole purpose. And know who you are and why you're here, and you're about it. There is no waiting. You wake up like this and you just start being it.
Yes. And I did want to say, like, the whole I've uncovered gifts that I didn't know that I had. I've uncovered through Reiki, I've uncovered my other true gifts.
Mm-hmm.
Like Reiki is a tool gifted to us from the universe. But we are born with this like purpose and this gift that Reiki helps to like attune us with. So then when we come in alignment with that, oh my gosh, the whole universe is like, yes, you can make money this way. Yes, you can actually perform this in the world. Yes, this can be your occupation and your job. Sure.
Yeah, easily. I just wanted to just share, like, my first experience with Reiki was receiving it, and I had no idea what it was. Because what happened, this isn't something, so those of you who are feeling called, like, you have healing gifts, or you're opening up to a new way to express yourself and, do something, maybe do this for a living as your healing modality or part of what you do. So in 1998, my sister died suddenly, and it was my Saturn return, and it was like devastating. So I had this is the day before the the internet was just getting started. So I was living far, about 5 hours away, came home to be with my family, and I was really basically in shock. And we had had a fight before, and so we had not been talking. And she died before I got to say I was sorry, so it was devastating. I don't wish that for anyone. But that was my moment of my spiritual awakening. So I have so much gratitude for, it was a difficult journey, but I have so much gratitude. It got me to be this place. Right? And she's my biggest spiritual cheerleader now that I understand it and came through the other side. It was definitely my dark night of the soul. So I had come home into my little, Alameda, which is a really small community I grew up in, and I was in my familiar surroundings. And it was so weird. I'd never really, I'd maybe had one massage, I didn't know anything about this, still really young. And I looked in the yellow pages, and I found this man who did massage, and I called him up, and I went to his house at nighttime. So here I did all the wrong things, the red flag moments, right? Somebody you don't know, a man going to his house at night, like, that's crazy. That's how much I was out of it and didn't know what was going on. But there was a force moving through me that was pushing me. I was like a zombie walking, like, I need a massage. I never even got a massage before, but somehow I was thinking I needed a massage. So anyway, I went to this man's house. I think he really was an angel. I really do. Because I went to his house, and he had the massage table set up. He was very sweet, total healer. And so I laid down, and he's like, so is there anything you need to tell me? Like, he was thinking, like, do you have a pain in your shoulder? And I'm like, well, my sister just died like 2 days ago. And he was just, I saw his face go, oh my God, I'm sorry. And I didn't, wow. And he's like, before we do this, can I do Reiki on you? And I had never heard of Reiki. And I just said yes. I wasn't even in my body, really. And I just said yes. And he put his hands like on my heart, like above my chest, like right there. And this energy came in. And it was like, it was a force of love came in. Because meanwhile, I had felt extremely guilty. I did not like myself because I didn't apologize. I didn't tell my sister I loved her, so I was in this place of darkness, pure darkness, of self-loathing. And this love came like into my, like kind of almost like you see Ray, like boom in. And all of a sudden my heart just went opened. And I went like that. And I didn't realize I had not been breathing for 2 days. Because when I heard she died, I went, and I stopped. My whole body energy world was in that moment of the hearing she died. And then when he came and the Reiki came, I went, that I took another breath. And I knew from that moment on, my trajectory in my life shifted. So that's why I'm like, Reiki, oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. And if you are called to like work with, grief and healing, that's like my number one thing. If there's anything for grief, so ladies, go help those grieving people out there.
It's really, I so appreciate that story because I actually have worked with many people whose loved ones have passed on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow. Can you tell us a little more about like that experience for you?
Yes, I have got chills all over my body. Thank you for sharing that.
You're
Wow.
welcome.
That is one of the biggest gifts that Reiki can offer, is helping people with their loved ones passing on to the next life, or even the loved ones that are passing, like physically passing in that moment, on to the next life.
Mm.
And so my experience, this beautiful, amazing woman, I knew her husband, and he caught a like pulmonology, it was like a very bad infection in his lungs. In like a week, he had caught this infection from some place they had visited in the US.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And so like 2 weeks later, he just died,
Wow.
just like suddenly. And this man was this woman's whole world. Like she had nothing, like she didn't know what she was going to do. She didn't know where she was going to turn. She didn't have kids. Like came over from Thailand. Like
Wow.
yeah, she had,
Mm.
and so I went to see her. I was like, okay, I have to, like, this woman, I have to help her. So I took my table, and she laid down on the table, and I had visions while we were doing Reiki, but I couldn't even tell you the magnitude of what had happened to her. She was gone. She wasn't even on the table. And
Right.
I knew that when we were going through Reiki and working through Reiki with her. And it was a different, my gift, the gift that Reiki has offered me, is to be able to help people. I can't even describe it to you yet. It's
Mm-hmm.
just to help that sorrowful place reunite with its original energy, source energy, and heal
Mm-hmm.
instantly when
Wow.
my hands go on someone. That's the gift that Reiki has offered me.
That's
So
beautiful.
this woman is on the table, and she just, like, at the end of the session, the sun came in this big window, just like the most amazing burst of sunlight came in the window, and it was like, oh, and she sat up on the table and she started bursting in tears, and she goes, Lali, thank you so much. I was on the beach dancing with my husband. He came back to me. He told me everything's okay. I took care of you. Like, you're going to be just fine. I'm here for you. And they were doing this beautiful dance on the beach. And she goes, I don't understand why you left so suddenly. And he said, it's just my path. It's what I needed to do. I'm sorry. And I love you. And I'm here with you.
Wow.
So she was able to tell him goodbye. And she
Oh my God.
wasn't even able to do that until the session. She couldn't tell him goodbye. So it is moments like that bring me to this practice, that bring me to share this practice with the world, because I have seen this practice move people's life in ways that I can't describe to you.
Yeah, it's like you have the gift that Reiki has offered you. It's like you could almost like it's transformational. You could raise the dead, really. Like that woman died in that moment when her husband died. She was still living, her body was still alive, but she was so dead inside from the shock and the sadness, the grief, because it was her whole life. And then you got to reunite, like the Reiki, and then she had this experience and she came back to life. So that's just so beautiful. And it's in a lot of ways, it feels very Egyptian in that way of being able to resurrect the soul.
Yeah.
You
And I
know?
will share with you, like, the most important piece of that, like, the way that I teach, and I, everybody has a different way, is like to just allow, to understand and to allow this energy to move through us.
Yes. Can you talk more about that? Because I can feel a lot of ladies go, well, that's such intense work. Like, how do I I would get so drawn into it, I'd be sad for days. Like, how does that work?
That does. Okay, so yeah, it's basically an understanding that you come to after your Reiki 2. You don't understand it in Reiki 1. I mean, you can understand it on a certain level, but Reiki 2 is when you really get it. It really comes in that what you're doing is you're allowing this energy, you're becoming the observer, the witnesser of this energy. Like, your mind can be going all kinds of crazy. You could have just, like, your dog could have passed away, or like you could have just had a terrible argument with your loved one. But what you must understand is, like, Reiki is coming through you to heal you in that moment that you're healing your clients. So there's something in you that will be healed, and there's something in them that will be healed. So essentially, it is a form of generator. It moves through us. The thoughts can be there. Like, it's not like meditation, in the form of, like, we have to move the thoughts away. Like, we tend to be so violent with ourselves.
Right?
It's a separate thing. No, actually, Reiki teaches you it isn't a separate thing. We're human in a human body, living in a human world, and we're going to have senses that are triggered all the time, no matter what we're doing. So we're in a human body. So those thoughts, you learn to just watch them, and they become the observer. And you don't attach to that outcome because you understand I'm not doing the work.
Right.
And so that's why in Reiki 1, we teach you feel the sensation of Reiki. You understand that it's an energy coming through you. Your hands heat up. You feel the vibration through your body. You know Reiki is turned on. So you're plugging in to Creator Source. And we are one with Creator. We are energy bodies, our auric fields. They're all one with Creator. We are Creator. We are the star seeds. We are all of that. But we are also a human being living in a human being world. So we have a mind, and we have all these faculties that also can control us. So we have to separate them out and allow them to live harmoniously together.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So it takes practice. That's really the answer to that question. To understand how to separate those things, we don't just learn them like right now. We're going to learn it right now. No, you're going to have a long road if that's the case, because like, actually it takes time, and it takes self-love and being patient with ourselves, and like not being violent to ourselves. And that's why I'm saying we're coming into this perfect time where we're actually no longer going to be spending so much time beating ourselves up. We're actually wanting that. We're craving that change. We're like wanting that energy to come. We're wanting to embrace the love. We want to embrace it all.
Yes. And I was thinking too, like, I noticed some of the comments of your students just recently during your individual attunements with them. Because this also happened to me too when I was in Reiki 1, was sometimes you meet your guide. A guide shows up, or someone who's part of, like, either the lineage that you're working with, or someone who already is working with you gets really clear. Like, I had one of my guides actually show up, and we were doing Reiki together on the person we were practicing on in class. And I was like, oh my God, it's you. You're really here. But, it was very real.
And I also believe that when we're connected to this tribe of women in this community, in our lineage, in this particular lineage, we can call upon that woman and say, hey, I'm going into session right now. I could use some more support. Can you send distance Reiki while I'm doing Reiki? That's how powerful whatever is coming through this lineage is coming through. It is like distance healing is needed now. It's like now. We can't fly across the world right now, but energy can travel across the world right now. So therefore, we have a client, like, we're on Facebook, and like someone talks to us from Australia, and they're like, oh, I need a session. And you're like, absolutely. because you will have the tools to be able to send them distance Reiki, even in Australia, like even in Egypt or Africa or wherever.
Right. And then you can send it like to, if there's a natural disaster somewhere in the world and calls to your heart, and you can send long distance Reiki to all who is in need, all the plants, animals, children, families, mothers, fathers, everyone.
Yes, you can give your food Reiki. That's what I love the most. You can,
right?
Yes, let's say you're traveling through the country and it's like all you have is McDonald's or something, like, and you gotta go, no offense to anyone that eats McDonald's, but let's say you go to McDonald's, right? And you're like, oh my God, I don't want to eat this food. You turn on your Reiki principles. You're like, just for today, I'm not going to be angry. Just for today, I'm going to give this love and kindness. And then you turn on the Reiki. Okay, Reiki, I love this cheeseburger. Thank you. And that doesn't mean you could go eat cheeseburgers every day. But if the situation came up.
If the desperate situation came up. Right.
But then even you can pray, you can ask Reiki to help you, help me find a grocery store where there's some decent food. You can give the map Reiki. Right?
Mm-hmm. Right. And we have Mercury retrograde coming up, so I know you can retrograde Reiki your electronics who might be acting up and behaving badly during Mercury retrograde, or your travel plans.
Yes, travel plans.
And you could also ask your pets, would you like a Reiki session? I had just as a quick story for people watching or interested in working with animals. So after I learned Reiki, maybe like the following summer, my dear sweet kitty cat, my little Gracie, my little sweet Gracie, who I love so much, she got hit by a car. And it was devastating, right? And it's a long story, but anyway, when she had broken her pelvis bone, and she had a surgery, and they had pins, and she had to stay in this little kind of cage, so she could rest. And we had another kitty, so we don't bother her. And so I did Reiki outside the cage. And then my good friend, also who I had done Reiki with, she said, well, I'll send long distance Reiki to Gracie. And she could walk again. She lived like another 9 years after that. Like everybody was shocked. Like, how is Gracie like alive? How is she like walking and jumping? And then she lived a whole other life after that. Because she was 9 when it happened, and then she died at 18. And I said, it was Reiki. I know it was. And the group effort.
In our group right now, there's many women who are doing Reiki on their animals. And Shauna Kirk, her.
Shauna! Yay!
So amazing. And that's like one of her goals, is to work with animals. And so I want Shauna to teach that as a part of our lineage. I want her to specialize in animal Reiki.
Oh my God, that is the perfect person. I love hearing that. Congratulations, Shauna. I love your path moving forward. How gorgeous. So Lali, we're about at an hour. Is there anything you'd like more to share with us? And because we need to know how to get in contact with you and sign up to be in your next class.
Yeah, so you can reach out to me personally on Facebook and send me a private message and tell me if you're interested. Also, we have a group called Divine Body, and you can join.
I'll put the post in the lifestyle group to go and join Divine Body.
Yes, and you could come in there, and there's several posts on Reiki with our flyer and the information. If you want to know cost and price, just send me a message. And I do allow payment plans for women, so that also will help. And I just say, if you feel the call to take the call, absolutely step into it. And because there will be a little resistance at first, you'll have a little resistance because you're going to be moving a lot of energy, so you'll feel, but sometimes you just feel like, okay, yes, this is it. I'm doing it.
Right. You're like, I've been waiting for something, and this is my something. I'm jumping in.
Like it keeps coming to me. Someone keeps telling me about Reiki. Okay, now I need to do this. It showed up in my space. So
Right. This is like the third time I've heard Reiki this week. Now it's like something's trying to tell me something. And Lali, do you have a start date for your next Reiki 1 training?
yes, I'm actually going to start the second weekend of April because I want Jupiter to clear out, and then I want us to be able to, look at moving out of Mercury retrograde before we start our journey.
Perfect. I think Mercury would really appreciate that because he wants to be along for the ride. And he's like, wait, I'm going backwards. Let me go forward so I can like be with you all in in Reiki circles. I can like have fun and speed it all up.
Yes.
Very wise.
I love Mercury. It's one of our greatest teachers. He is one of our greatest teachers.
Yes, you want to be friends with your Mercury because he'll help you out a lot. And he's a good guy. So he's the only one that of the gods can go into the underworld and get out of there. So he's your soul retriever. So you want to be like, hey, Mercury, what's up? Want to come over and hang out? And he's like, yeah, totally. So I will post a Divine Body link to the group. I'll pin your flyer so people can see your flyer, and then they know how to get in touch with you to sign up for Reiki. And then if you sign up, let us know. Post in the lifestyle group, I signed up, so we can cheer you on. And all of those of us who are already trained in Reiki will send you some Reiki for your journey. Whoop, whoop, that's right. So thank you so much, Lali, for coming into the Lunar Ladies Lifestyle Group to share your beautiful self and tell us about the Reiki and offering this into our world. It's so special and so precious. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much, Shannon. I appreciate all that you do for us and all that you've done in my life. Thank you.
You're so welcome. My pleasure. Part of my soul purpose. So you get to help me live my soul purpose out. So thank you for that. And so we'll go through the comments on the Facebook because we couldn't see them here on live. So Lali and I will go through, and if you had questions, we'll address that there. But I'm so excited for you to get connected with Lali and take this journey, especially if you feel called right now, jump in. Now's the time. And if you feel called, it's, and you need a little, if it's resistance, just look at it. Just be with that and see what's going on. Because the resistance sometimes is excitement that, ooh, a change is a coming. And we like change. Change is good. This is positive change. So thank you again, Lali. Happy spring. Happy spring equinox.
Happy spring equinox, ladies.
Right. First, this is a great day to start something fresh and new. So say yes to life. Say yes to yourself.
And because we're not in Mercury retrograde yet.
We're not. Mercury retrograde is going. He's like, okay, I'm packing my clothes to go on my journey on the 22nd. So, don't mind me. I'm just packing for my journey. Yeah, so sign up before the 22nd. Then you're like in the clear. Right, the energy is moving forward.
Yes.
Yay! So thank you, Lali. Have a most wonderful day, and wonderful day to everyone out there watching us. Thank you for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.